He coached Culver Stockton football to its most successful season in the last 35 years back in 2001. And now Chris Tabor has reached the pinnacle of the profession as the special teams coordinator for the Chicago Bears. That move from the NAIA to the NFL may seem rare, but believe it or not, Chris is not the only person to make the jump from the Hill to the league. His former staff mate, Sean Menega, who was also the head coach at Culver Stockton after Chris left, is currently holding the same position, special teams coordinator for the arch-rival Green Bay Packers.
Tri-State Triumphs, sponsored by Good Samaritan Home of Quincy.
We talk weekly. I mean, we're still best friends, and he's like a brother to me. But, you know, we opened up this past season, the 2019 season here in Chicago, 100th year of the NFL, Bears Packers on Thursday night national TV. Obviously, it didn't turn out the way we wanted. But at the beginning of the game, Sean and I are standing at the 50-yard line at Soldier Field, and we kind of chuckled. And I said, here we go. Who would have thunk it that a couple guys that stalk the sidelines at Culver are standing here at Soldier Field. Let's have a good time and have some fun tonight. Early on in my coaching career, I never wanted to coach special teams. I got hired by Mick Dennehy at Utah State. That staff got let go. The new head coach, Brent Guy, comes in and he retains me. And he decides to divvy up the special teams. And he says, okay, Chris, you're gonna coach the punt team. And I said to him very nicely, I said, Coach, I said, that's great. I said, I just want to let you know, I've never coached the punt team ever in my entire life. And he laughed and he goes, well, I guess you better start studying it. And so I did. I started really getting into it. And then as I studied it, I found out, boy, there's a lot of things you can do with this. And you can do this and you can do that. And you can kind of make a little niche for yourself. And it's kind of grown. I was fortunate I got an opportunity that Dave Tobe, that I worked with in Missouri, got hired here at Chicago, and then it took a few years, but he said, hey, I get to hire an assistant and I'm going to pick you. And then it's just it's taken off from there. Yeah, but at the beginning, so when I see young coaches and I say, hey, I need some help in special teams, and they kind of look at me funny, I say, I know that look.
When you look back and you see Tony Grave, who was such a great player for you, go into education and become a superintendent of schools at Tabor, or when you see Quentin Hammer do such a great job coaching, is now the head coach at Hannibal High School, those things have to mean as much to you as any of those on-the-field victories you've had along the way.
No, quite. Those are winning Super Bowls to me. It really is. And when I saw, Tony came down to see us down training camp when we were down in Bourbonnais, and his family was there, and I'm riding my bike to go over to the cafeteria to get something to eat, and he yells at me, and I recognize him, and I head over to him, and we had the best visit. I mean, it was awesome. It's something I'll never forget. And those guys, credit to those guys. They reach out and stay in touch, and I'm very appreciative of that. But I have followed where those guys are at and how they've done, because they're impacting other kids' lives, and they're making a difference. And I think if we can just all make a little bit of a difference in someone's life, well, then it's been successful.
And Amber, our complete interview right now with Chris Tabor is online at KHQA.com, including lots of goodies about the Bears dealing with COVID-19.